Hi everyone, Tessa Lamping here. I'm doing my December recap and I suppose a yearly recap. I've officially been trading for about 9 or 10 months now. We'll go over it to find out. Sorry if I yawn this time. I just woke up a little bit ago, and for the New Year's weekend, I've been staying up extra late, putting in the time to study, and then waking up when my kid gets up, which is still the same time, even though he goes to bed at the same time. I'm up later. So, if you guys have been following me, you'll know that I've switched entirely over to OTCs. This was my bread and butter and what I started with when I first began paper trading. But paper trading is a lot different than live trading because in paper trading, you're pretty much guaranteed to get filled all your shares most of the time, and there's a few other differences, but I would say getting filled is the biggest one. I'm still focusing on the same patterns, which have been first green days, morning panic, dip buys, and breakouts, OTC breakouts. And I'll go over a few charts in some different time frames. I'm not going to go into detail because you can also follow me on. You can follow me on mostly Twitter. That's where I'm most active for trading. And you can also read my blog, tessalamping.com, and obviously my YouTube page. So, as you can see, my cumulative returns are green. This would be like after fees or before fees and commissions. I'm slowly starting to grow. Last month I was green about $12 if I remember right, and this month I'm up $127, but after fees and commissions, actually no, I can't even, no, that's not even it this month. Yes, this is after or before fees and commissions, but this is actually after everything. I had two. No, this is after fees and commissions. Sorry about that. I had two big losses that I'll go into. ALPP. I had was my latest big loss at 9.79%. I entered a little bit early. And then I hesitated on my exit. So I have a cash account that has about $4,200, I think, in it. And my trading size is about $800 to $1,000, depending on the setup. So by the time I got in ALPP after ABML a couple times, ALPP, I didn't want to get out necessarily. I wanted to give it an extra chance, even though I saw that there were a lot of sellers and I needed to get out. I was like, well, maybe I'll just get shaken out, and I don't want to waste this last trade because I don't have any more cash buying power. So I stayed, got burned. Good lesson. And I'll go over why it's best just to, well, I'll just do it now. So it's best to just cut your losses when you see that it's going against you, because the commissions would have been way cheaper than the 9% loss. I could have got out for roughly break even, so I would have lost maybe like $20 and still have been green. It just would have been $107 instead of $120. But also then you take this $30, and you might be wondering, oh yeah, you might be wondering why I'm going off of the net return. That's because that's after fees and commissions. That's it included. So cumulative return is this. Cumulative net return is this. Anyways, so I could have gotten out for a small loss like this. This was basically break even. And instead, I took an 8% loss because I got caught in a panic. And then, oh my god. I don't really start yawning this much till I make videos. I apologize. So my next big loss, like really big loss, is $111.29. This was an 11.2% loss. And this one for more details about this, we'll go on my Profitly, and then type in Tessa Lamping in the search and you'll find me in all my video recaps. But oh my goodness. So I had this big loss because again, I got caught in another panic, and it was just due to hesitating. I just didn't get out quick enough. And you might see over here there's morning panics versus OTC panic dip buys. Morning panics I'm trying to track for right there in the morning, versus a lot of the trades where they have that morning panic, go sideways for a little bit, and then they have another panic kind of in the afternoon time. So these OTC panic dip buys, I'm considering those afternoon panics versus the morning panic. Is essentially the same thing, same pattern, same idea, just different time frames, and it's so that way I can track a little bit better what kind of panics. Another big loss was the 6.7% one. I entered early and then got caught in a panic. So if you're noticing a theme here, I get caught in panics because I'm hesitating. I'm not getting out right when I see that the level 2 turns. So my goals, or I'll get into this later too, my goal is to have 5% or less on losses, just because 5% I can still manage. And then finally I have another 11% loss, and it was I entered early and got caught in a panic again. It was a sub penny stock, so that panic cost me more than I anticipated, because I couldn't get out at my loss. I couldn't get out at my risk. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 really big losses, and because of those 4 really big losses, I ended the month red $236.91. And that was just, I was doing well. I was $3 away from being green this month, because I was trading pretty well, or fairly well. I managed to hop back on. Maybe I shouldn't have done the video right when I wake up. I managed the losses well, and then it was just these last couple big ones of hesitation. And if you've been following my journey, I've been talking more about the daily trading coach. But it's a new month, or it's a new year, it's a new month, so I'm ready to hop back on the wagon, especially after a ton of stuff I've been studying. So if you're wondering what this trading journal is, it's Trader Sync. I'll put a link below. Let's see, monthly. No, I want the calendar. So I'll make this bigger. See, I'm still having more green days than I am red days. It was just that the red days were a lot bigger than my green days. And that's just because I didn't cut those losses as quick as I should have. So that's definitely my main focus going into the new year, is cutting losses a lot faster. So for my yearly recap, you can see I'm down $720 roughly on the year, which actually isn't too bad considering I've heard traders that had really large accounts and they blew up. Not saying they don't have the capabilities to be green this year still, but they blew up their accounts and I still haven't. Uh, and I don't plan on it because I'm only getting a better focus on my goals and improving. So you also might be wondering again, it's choppy and I go up and then down and it looks like I'm going up versus this where I'm just kind of forming the bottom of a cup and handle. This is with fees and commissions. This is without it. When I first began trading, if you watch the beginning of my YouTube videos, I got I I was having a lot of oh, did it freeze? Anyways, I was having a lot of software issues, and I was having a lot of software issues, and I just had a lot of losses that I couldn't control. Plus, I was buying the backside a lot of a lot of plays, and it was the same stuff that I was learning to paper trade. But when I was paper trading, times were really slow, and when I opened my account, the coronavirus started happening, and it was it was just madness that was starting to happen, and I saw a lot of traders who were just buying and making thousands, and so I'm like, okay, well, if I get in with what I've learned, I should be able to make money pretty well. And that just wasn't the case. Like I said, I was having software issues, and I got shaken out because I had big size and I lost a few hundred in the beginning. And so then I focused strictly on listed stocks on the morning panic dip buys. And so I spent 3 months being pretty green. I'll show you monthly. So this is where I was figuring out software, getting my new laptop, getting my new setup going, and just trying to really zero in on the setups. And my goal wasn't how much profits I could make, because I could do compare win to losses. It wasn't how much money I could make. It was how much I could minimize my losses. And by focusing on having smaller losses, I was actually able to become green right around July, August, and September, because I won $55, lost $38, made $112, lost $59, made $117, lost $93. And then in October, I had a big loss in the beginning, and then so I had a big loss in the beginning, and then I decided to really size down a lot. And so percent wise I was green this month, but dollar wise I was red because my wins were better than my losses. It's just I sized up when I had those big losses and sized down when I started having all the wins. So percent wise I'm still green in October, dollar wise I'm not. September or November was kind of the same thing where it shows my wins versus my losses, but I think I was just barely green by a couple dollars, which I'll go into right here in a second. And then here it shows that I've made my best month yet, but it's also my worst month too. And this is after fees and commissions. So it was just literally these last couple days of losses that made me unprofitable this month. So I'm not worried about it because I'm on the right track. I just need to cut my losses even faster. And then so you can see how I was winning versus how I was losing. And then I can go view my report for December. Basically the same thing we just talked about. 50-50. My biggest loser versus my average wins, my average winner, my average loser. So I basically need to cut losses faster is what it comes down to. But yeah, that is a lot of what goes into the being a loser was mostly commissions over the time. Not to say I didn't have losers, I had big losses too, but the commissions just started eating away my little account, and that's why I switched to listed to practice the pattern, and then I switched back over to OTCs lately. So next thing I want to go over is my spreadsheet. So why do I need a spreadsheet if I track my trades on TraderSync? Well, it's just to keep reinforcing what TraderSync is showing me. I figure like when you're learning a new language or something, you have songs that you're listening to, you have books you're reading, you have a culture that you're exposed to, you're writing out the language. So I think just by reinforcing everything, that allows me to get better. And so here's my December monthly trades. I have a lot more, that's for sure, but this swizzle pattern, I'll go into that a little bit, but if you watch my video lessons, you'll see what I talk about. Then I just got fees, commissions. Oh, I forgot to do this. Whoops. I'll do that. My bad. But yeah, so it's about 50-50. All of these I'm going long. That's why I don't have it written out of what I'm doing. But I'm just focusing on these setups, and that's it. And then my profit and loss calendar. And just oh wait, this is for the wrong month. This is December. And just see that my red is more than my green, so I just need to cut those losses. My average loser, and all these statistics and all this information I get off of TraderSync, so it just makes me highlight it, color it, pay more attention to it. And so and just see here, my average green day is $29. My average red day is $43. I just need to switch that around because my average green day is about 2.9% and my average red day is about 4%, and that just needs to be switched. So it would be fixed by cutting my losses quickly, because as you can see, I have more green days than I have red days, but it's just those big losses. And as long as I can focus on keeping these losses really small, then I'll be green. It sounds simple, but another thing I'll go into is how I'm tracking these losses. Here I need to pretty much just get rid of this one because that's not too bad of a loss. This one isn't a bad loss because I cut it quick. So actually I'll do that later. Starting next month, I'm only going to track the really big losses, but at the time these were my big losses, so I didn't have anything quote unquote big to compare them to. So this 32 one, this $11, this $31 dollar, and this $28 really don't need to be in here. What I need to have is the $129, the $67, $111, $89, $84. I think I have another. I think I have a couple more, but these were the big losses. And AFOM, I bought a sub penny stock on the dip thinking it would have a small spike, and I didn't pay enough attention to level 2, and I tried selling for a win instead of for my stop level when it went down, so I had to jump the bid and sell below the bid. So what happened was I got in the stock, it was starting to go down. I didn't know if I wanted to sell when the bid hit my risk or if the ask hit my risk. And in all reality, I should have just realized that the level 2 wasn't going as I planned, so I should have just got out for about break even. So stop out when it reaches my stop loss maximum. Don't hesitate. Don't try for the profit when it's going down. Also, wait for it to confirm the swizzle after 2 p.m. so it proves itself. Perhaps don't trade sub penny stocks since it's greater. So I had an early entry, and I just added hesitation. So a lot of these were due to hesitation, and I just added this lately. Hesitation actually wins out of all of these. And so I won't trade sub penny stocks anytime soon. I will wait. So if you're wondering, description of loss, what can I learn from? How can I improve? I won't trade sub penny stocks anytime soon. I will wait for the afternoon when the sizzle confirms it's worth my money. I will also sell immediately when the stock reaches my risk. I can always re-enter, and who cares if I have a small loss, as long as it's a small loss. You can see my mistakes. And then I'll go to this $84 one. I entered a stock too early by not noticing the percentage that it panicked after. This was a third panic, and it was kind of gradually downtrending before the bigger ramp, and I got in too soon but followed the lesson I learned otherwise. I learned to take better notice of the percent panic and daily chart support resistance zones. Also learned to cut losses as quickly as possible and should probably cut under the bid to assure exit. I will watch the percent loss and check the daily chart support resistance zones as well as volume and candles. And so that it panicked just a small percent, and I need a bigger panic, and then just not hesitating and cutting losses faster when it goes below. ARCS, I entered ARCs early, and I told my mom this is what I should not be doing because it can panic, then retest VWAP and hold the breakout, and then I can retest VWAP, then hold the breakout in the afternoon. That's exactly what it did. That's why Mariana said to wait till about 2. In order to maintain my discipline, I will not trade for this kind of swizzle before 2 p.m. I want it to hold VWAP and prove to me that it deserves my money. I have my alarm set for 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. Eastern, so I can begin looking for this pattern. I can watch for stocks approaching the 2 p.m. Eastern, but wait until then to buy. My odds increase as it proves to hold with solid volume. It's okay to miss out. So I started doing that, and I watched them. I ended up hesitating too much and just watching the trades instead of actually entering them. So that's my goal for this year, is to actually enter when I recognize that it's hit all my bullet points, and if it fails, get out. If it spikes, stay in. That's simple. ABML, first red day panic with big green volume candle and big volume at the bottom. I bought the top of the spike at 121, then it panicked down to $1 support. 6 minutes later, I'm out at 107. If a panic goes against me, oh great, now I have the hiccups. If a panic goes against me, then I need to immediately slap the sell under the bid. To increase my odds of exiting with a smaller loss, I can always re-enter when the stock begins to spike. I froze and panicked. I didn't cut the loss fast enough. Instead, 6 minutes went by and I could have had a tiny loss instead of a big one. So I originally wanted to buy, I thought it would go to $1, and so I put my buy for 106. I saw that it spiked up really quick, and so I just bought in at 120 because I thought it was going to keep going up. But instead, it dropped down, and it dropped down to $1. And then so I cut at 107, re-entered at 111, and sold at 116. So I learned that if it spikes up 14 roughly percent, then just don't chase it. And if it goes without you, oh well. It's better to let a stock run without you than to chase it. That way you don't break your discipline and don't start creating bad habits. And how I'll fix it, I'll pay more attention to the whole $1.50 marks and the percent. It spikes and panic, so I can enter closer to the bottom of the panic instead of blindly chasing a spike and having a sell order prepared. So I'll also prepare my sell order, which I've been doing when the stock goes against me. I just need to not hesitate and I need to get out. I will take the deep breath and put my sell below the bid instantly as the trade panics below my entry. So just being extra prepared and not hesitating. ALPP, first red day panic below $4 was the buy when the stock double bottomed. Then it began rolling lower and never putting in triple bottom. Instead, that was the second big panic, which dropped to 340 with a double bottom. So I figured if it went below $4, then I would be able to buy. It double bottomed, and then I bought a third green candle where I thought it was going to put a triple bottom. And if I paid any attention to the history, I would have known that it has a history of 2 panics. And also, this is where I didn't want to give in to using my last bit of buying power. So I was being hesitant and I didn't just cut losses when I should have. I did bought when I thought that $4 was the important level for it to go below. It had a double bottom around 3.88, so I thought I'd buy what I forced was a triple bottom. Instead of admitting I was wrong, I held in hopes of it spiking, so I didn't feel bad for wasting my last trade being too early. This caused me to get caught in a panic and unable to fill way below the bid. So I tried getting out. I followed my plan right here of stopping below the bid, but I was in that panic and everyone else was panic selling too, and I just couldn't get out. And that's all because I hesitated. Now I can take quick singles and lock in profits within 40 seconds. But I also need to be able to accept that in 40 seconds I can also sell too and get out. And that's what I'm also going to be working on. I will cut losses when panics go against me, regardless of how many trades I have left. It is better to have a quick loss for near break even than a big loss that I can't escape. I will be quick to cut when I feel anything wrong with the trade. A small loss is bigger than any unnecessary huge disaster. And so, like I said, a lot of these need to be hesitation. Most of these are hesitation. But I had one outside influence where it's like listening to other people's ideas about trading versus just following my own plan. I put undisciplined trades as hesitation. So I need to put the undisciplined as hesitation. And just stick to the bread and butter patterns. And then one FOMO and 3 early entries. So early entries and hesitations when they go against me are my biggest issues that I'm fixing. So if I enter earlier than I should be, because sometimes it's hard to tell when they're about to go up versus when they're just staying sideways or about to panic. I just need to cut losses faster. That's all it is. When I see the level 2 turning, I just need to get out. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. And then monthly pattern performance. So OTC panic dip buys. These are the afternoon panics. Overall, I'm doing really well. I made some on there. So morning panic dip buys, I had a couple really big losses because I didn't cut my losses quick enough. Otherwise, I'd be green. Just those couple losses really ate my account. And then OT Swizzle, I got early entries and got caught in panics and didn't cut them fast enough, so that's why I'm red there. OTC breakouts, I cut my losses pretty quick. I just entered at the wrong time. So small losses there. And then overnight holds, I'm green on. One I did really well on, and the other one I did great managing my losses. And then my yearly performance, TSNP I made the most on. It was a morning panic dip buy. JCPNQ, it was my overnight hold. CYDY was a morning panic dip buy. HVBTF was kind of an afternoon panic dip buy. And then ZNOG was a morning panic dip buy. So those are my best trades. And I'm only tracking OTCs right now because you heard me talk about how I was green for several months with listed stocks. But right now, I don't want to focus on too many different things. So my main focus, getting better, is on OTCs right now. So I've only been trading OTCs consistently with a plan in real focus for the last 2 months. So this is why my recap is just of November and December. Yeah. So AFOM, you can see I'm having a lot more bigger losses than my gains. And these were all stocks I got caught in panics. So 6%, almost 7. So basically 8%, 9%, 11%, 12%, and 7%. Versus like 8%, 6%, 5%, 4%, 4%. So that is definitely what I'm working on, is cutting these a lot faster. And I'm still happy taking my singles. I just need to cut these a lot quicker. So my best days, yeah, I made more dollar profit right here, but percent wise, this was my best day, and it was JCPNQ because it was a 14.4% profit. So I could even add that. Well, I'll do that later. I might, yeah. So that was actually my best day, and then this was my second best profit, or percent wise, because this was a good percent, but I had probably around 1,000 shares versus like 800 shares on JCPNQ. So that's the difference there. My best week was my green week, which I got off of my calendar. See, so it was just these 2 weeks were my best weeks. And then my worst weeks were my biggest loss weeks, which was still within the same month of December. My best week versus my best day versus my best day. Yeah, best week versus worst week. So all within the same month. And then November was my best month because I only lost $137 after fees and commissions. And then December, my second best month. And then my worst month is December, and my second worst month is November. And so I've been working on goals, so these are my goals for 2020, and these are my 2021 goals. I'm setting day or year goals, my daily goal, just something to think about. But I'll go over my year goal, which is master 3 setups: morning panic dip buys, first green days / overnight holds, first green day, second green day with the swizzle, and then so it sounds like a lot, but these are all grouped together with the swizzle, and then multi-day, month, week, year breakouts, and then I do the or else I will never become a master of the market, and I will never have a reliable bread and butter setup, which is true. My second goal is to keep all losses under 5% max, and that includes slippage, or else I will never be able to keep my losses small enough to be profitable. And that's why I'm focusing on these setups, because they're going to be my bread and butter. If they're my bread and butter and I'm consistent with these, then I shouldn't have big losses, because I know what I'm looking for, and it'll make up for whatever loss that I have here as long as I keep it small enough. I know I don't like to make dollar profit goals, but I'm trying to focus more on the setups, and if I keep my losses small, I should be able to make at least 2,500 in 2021, or else I'll have to add more funds to my trading account instead of saving them up for the trader conference. So I don't want to keep losing this money, because I will have to keep adding funds when I should be growing them as my knowledge account grows. And I want to be able to save money for the trader conference, instead of using that conference money to refund my account. And I will take a second before and during trades to breathe. I must not freeze, panic, hesitate when in trades. It's imperative I learn to control my emotion reaction, or else I won't be able to master myself during trading, which will prevent me from taking rational exiting when necessary, and will prevent me from growing as a trader. And so it's just becoming aware of myself, my own trading coach, like I'm reading about, and cutting those losses quickly. I need to trust myself, trust my process, trust my quick loss cutting, and that my patterns will take care of itself. So they all connect. Think about the pattern more than the profits by refocusing on what I see, or else I will be focusing on the wrong mindset, and trading the profits, and the trading profits will only hurt my trading. So just looking at the big picture, following my plan, following the strategies that I'm studying and practicing, instead of focusing on the profits, because that can ultimately lead to the wrong mindset. I need to trade the pattern, not trade the profit. And then stop hesitating on sells and buys, or else I will never be an elite trader. It is life or death that I cut losses before any other trader. Trader eat, trader world. So I need to be better than every other trader and faster than every other trader, so that way I can get out before every other trader, or when everyone's buying, I need to be selling into that. I need to lock in my profits and get out before everyone else. It is a battlefield, like Tim says. And then daily goal, what made my day a success, even if I didn't make money? I got this quote out of the Daily Trading Coach, because it's just a good thing to focus on to keep the right mindset. And then my monthly goal for January is I have a majority of my trades be winners, or else my losses will continue to drain my account. My losses also need to be bigger than my losers. So as you saw, I'm pretty good about keep having more winners than losers, but my winning dollar amount needs to be bigger than my losing dollar amount. Lock in singles 2 to 5%, as they will grow my account, or else trying to go for a larger amount will not give me the proper mindset, and I will increase the odds of bigger losses. So this is a little tricky, because I am going for these singles, and if the stock spikes up way above that, then that's phenomenal. Also, if I'm taking 2 to 5%, 2% just barely covers my commissions and fees when I enter. So I'm really going for kind of like 2 to 10%. So 2 to 10%, that's kind of a little bit more reasonable because I want my biggest loss to be 5% and under. And so if my 5% max loss is the amount that my max win is, then I'm just going to be break even. So I'm trying to go for more of 3 to 10%, because at least 3 is a little bit better. And then I want my losses to ideally be 1 to 3%. So that and I'm always looking for risk reward where it's like 1 to 3 risk reward. You can go to profit.ly/SSS, so Sykes sliding scale, and that gives you an idea of what I'm talking about for risk to reward. Cut losses quickly when it hits my risk. My risk is my risk for a reason, or else I will not gain the conviction in my process or what I am learning, and that will hinder my growth as a trader. So that goes to the 1 to 3 risk reward. So if I can cut my loss when it hits my risk versus cutting my losses before my risk, I usually have a pretty rational risk level, and every time that I've gotten out below my risk or before my risk is hit, I've lost out on some big profits, where I could have been up about $500 or $600 this month, after fees and commissions. So my risk is my risk for a reason, and this goes for like swizzles and breakouts. This is not for panics. Panics, I need to get out immediately. This is strictly for breakouts and swizzles. 4. If caught in a panic, slap below the bid immediately, no hesitations, or else I will have a loss so big it can take out most of my account. And that's where you saw that I was having $100 losses, $90 losses, $80 losses because of hesitation. No hesitations. 5. If a stock does not gap up the next morning, sell below the bid. Get the fuck out. Pardon my language, but GTFO. Or else I could wind up in another panic like OPTI, and it could keep going below my max risk. So I held OPTI overnight, and it gapped down the next morning. Instead of putting my sell, like I think it was at 0.077 is where the bid said pre-market. So I should have put my sell at 0.075 to get out ahead of everyone else. So that instead I put it at 0.079, I think it was, because there was also sellers at or maybe I put it at 0.076, and there or 8, something like that. And I put it below the sellers, but the stock never spiked up. It went down immediately. So it was a good lesson just to, instead of trying to get greedy and get a profit, I should have just followed my plan and sold at the green to red previous close level. That was a good learning experience, and that I'd say that was a good loss because I learned a lot from that. 6. Whenever I catch myself thinking about profits or starting to panic, take a breath and focus on the setup and follow my plan and stick to my risk. This will help with conviction, or else I will freeze and ruin the successful habits I am instilling in my future. So just trusting myself, following my plan. I'm pretty detailed in my plan. I post my watch list every day on Twitter from Profitly, just because that's kind of the idea that I'm going through. Now, my plans, that I write on my watch list, they're kind of detailed, but they're not. They're not always exactly what I'm going for, so it's just kind of an idea. It's along what I'm going for, but the prices can change. It can always change, but it's along the lines of what I'm going for. 7. Stop hesitating on my buys and sells, or else I will never become an elite trader. Trader World, if I'm not in and out first, then someone else will be. There's always going to be someone better, and my goal is to be the best and better than my last self. So if I can beat my last self and get out, then I'm progressing. Because I'm sure a lot of traders are like how I was, and I need to be better than that. So my week 1 goal for January is begin using the new process I learned from Mason's YouTube to organize and find stocks I am looking to trade. I will follow this process, or else the lack of discipline will keep me unorganized and cause me to miss out on the best opportunities. So if you go to Mason Fecht, Fecht, I believe it was, on YouTube, you can watch and see what I'm talking about. It's just a little more organized process of keeping my watch list organized. 2. Go through my watch list and create lists with tickers specifically related to certain sectors, PA, EV, virus, crypto, etc. This will allow me to be optimized when the sectors run again in the future, or else I will be unprepared and miss out on gimme opportunities. I can never be over prepared, only under. So I did that a little bit, and I have my different sectors over here, and I'm just adding to them as I learn and see what sectors are running and where, and adding them to my different lists. Focus more on talking about what I'm doing right and turning that into better habits. I am quick to be hard on myself, but need to give myself more credit, or else I will continue to focus more on the negative and cause myself to be more negative. So I'm really quick to pick out everything that I'm doing wrong, which isn't healthy. I need to it's just like a kid. If you tell a kid they're constantly doing something wrong, they're going to constantly live in fear, retaliate. It's just not going to react well with them, and it causes issues. So I'm talking about what I can improve on and spending more time focusing on what I can learn from mistakes. Because it's good to learn from mistakes, because it helps you remember and not make those same mistakes again, or adapt, like my OPTI trade. It's good to learn from others, but learning from yourself is sometimes more, not necessarily more meaningful, but more memorable. And so I'm just using the losses as positive learning experiences, and telling myself what I'm doing right and focusing on what I'm doing right. I'm not sweeping my losses under the rug, but I'm just making them more constructive and positive. And then again, stop hesitating on buys or sells with good patterns, or else I will never be an elite trader. It's a trader eat trader battlefield. Either I get in and out before the other guy takes it from me. Get in and out before the other guy takes it from me. So getting stuck in panics, the other guys were out before me, and so that caused me to get caught in a panic, and I need to be out before them. And then my daily report cards, which I just started, so they're getting more detailed with time, and I'll just copy and paste this here, probably right there. Yep, that way that's kind of lined up. And then my weekly report card, copy, paste. So that way I have this for let's see, 01/04/2021, and this will be week 1, and it's my January 2021. So let's see how I improve. Oh, week 41. And so that's what I'm going for this month and this year. Those are my different goals. So Sorry for the long video, but let's dive into some charts. I want to do kind of different time frame of charts because I see a lot of traders just doing like doing a lot of the yearly and stuff, so or the daily. These are the morning panics I was talking about. This is one of my really big losses where I wanted it to just keep going down to 1, and then I was going to buy right around here at 106. That's what I prepared for. But instead, it went to 106 and then spiked up to 120. And then I bought at the top right here, not realizing this percent gain or percent spike. And then I thought it was just going to keep going up like a lot of the other stocks had done. Instead, it went down. I thought I got out in here, but I didn't get out till in here around 107. That's where I cut my loss. And then I bought in at 111 and then sold right here at 116. So had I followed my plan and just waited and just let this go without me right there, I had an opportunity to get in at my desired entry around 106 and then sell for a 10% gain. So instead of 11 or 12% loss, I could have had a 10% gain. So that's just the different kinds of trading where if I would have kept this loss small and then re-entered properly, I'd be closer to green on the month. It's just little things that need fixed, and it'll work out. So that's the morning panic dip buy. And that's the daily chart. So it was a panic day right here, I think. But it's just this pattern that I'm going over, and there's a breakout right there that I'm working on. And so go to TSNP. I'm working on these breakouts. And then the panic dip buys, which I had a nice panic dip buy. This is one where you saw my best buy. It was on one of these days for the big panics. But then you also have the breakout. I'm watching for it to kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of, I want it to consolidate more maybe, and then break out above here and retest about up here, and I'd buy that breakout level maybe, if it got volume and stuff like that. Otherwise, it's the pattern where it just bounces and then probably fades off until the future. ALPP, I had some wins and some losses, good breakout opportunities that I didn't take advantage of because I'm still learning these. But I got caught in the panic right in here where I thought I had the triple bottom, and that's where I need to cut losses quicker. Fortunately, I did get out, but I'm also waiting for this, like maybe to have a second green day. I'm also watching for a potential breakout up here. But it's the same exact patterns, the same setups that I'm watching. And OPTI, this is where I held overnight. I think this night. I think I held overnight here. No, it was this one. I held overnight right here. It panicked. I got out for my risk level. I lost like 2 or 3%. Nothing big. And then I couldn't re-enter. I just had a lot of issues, so you have to go and watch that video I think I posted on Profitly, and then it could have been about a 16% gain. So this is still the 7-step framework, the breakouts, the buying, the panics. I was just too slow on these panics and fat fingered some of them, but I wanted to give like an idea of what the intraday or the intradaily chart shows, because it's a daily chart but it's the intradays too. And this is still the 7-step framework, how it goes up and then panics down and just is like a bouncing ball and goes sideways. Maybe it'll come back up here and then keep fading off. But it's the same exact pattern right here. See, happened right here, happened right here, happened right here. So that's what I'm going off of. And then it could have bought the breakout right there. Could have bought the breakout right there, but it's better for panics on this one. That's what I learned. Went over AVML. TAUG is a breakout, so it kind of swizzled right here, and I was wanting to risk that level and buy in up here, but I just hesitated because I wasn't sure of the volume. And this is where it's one of my goals. Like, it's just a solid breakout. I should have bought. Worst I do, cut losses quickly. No big deal. But now I missed out on this opportunity because I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust the process. It was a breakout right here. It was a breakout right there, and it closed up here. And Jack took this opportunity, and he's holding overnight. So he took the opportunity that I was watching, but I didn't take advantage of. And that's where I'm not going to hesitate. If I cut losses, so be it, because I'm going to miss 100% of the opportunities that I don't take. So if my pattern presents itself, I'm obligated to buy it. And that's my mindset going in. Now, this isn't the main... I use this on E-Trade. This is the computer I use for E-Trade, so my watch list is small. Yeah, these are on there, but I use my other computer for my watch list, so that's why it's not on there. Anyways, this was a really long yearly/monthly recap, and I'll make sure I add a link to TraderSync because all my statistics right here are on this, and it's just way easier. And I love this trading journal, so I'll make sure to add a link to TraderSync below. So thanks again for watching, and Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great year.